Now, Marty, did you have to edit your notes once you saw that jobs number in the last 24 hours?
Well, I looked at my economist and I said, you were way off today. It was, and I was on a call with some folks from the White House earlier, and they said, what do you think about the jobs report? I said, it was a good, steady jobs report. And Jared Bernstein made a joke. He said, you never change your tone. It was a great report. I mean, when you look at areas that I think are really important, business grew, healthcare grew, education grew, and we saw strong, steady growth in construction. I mean, so those are areas that obviously you would know better than I would as far as signs for the economy and concerns about the economy. But right now, certainly I'll take this jobs report for any day of the week.
Well, Secretary Walsh, I've said it to you now 2 months running. I mean, you've been right. I've tried to push back, but ultimately we're seeing this jobs growth without that inflationary impulse, without wages picking up. We're seeing participation start to climb. Secretary Walsh, what are the dynamics underpinning that, do you think? Why do you think that can continue?
I mean, I think we're still going to be assessing that and evaluating that for years to come. I think what's happening at this moment in time is something that economists and folks like you and me and all of us will be talking about down the road. I don't think there's really an answer other than, the president did lay out an agenda in 2020 to get people back to work. And then in 2021, he laid out an agenda to tackle inflation. Obviously, the Fed is doing their thing as well. And I think we're living in a very different time right now, economic times. And, most economists or people who are business people won't really might not agree with what I'm about to say, but I just think that these are times we've never really experienced in this country, and we just literally have to take this month to month to see as long as we can move forward and avoid a recession and avoid a downturn in the economy and try and create as many opportunities both for employers and employees in this country.
Well, the data is speaking to that right now, and the president has some fresh numbers to put into that State of the Union address next week. Secretary Walsh, I know you've got to run, so I want to work through a couple of issues with you. Here's one. You usually give us an update on what's happening on the West Coast with the dock workers contract. Where are we now? Have they asked for your involvement at all?
No, I mean, I've been in steady contact. This week I talked to all sides. They were able to work through some of the more tricky issues out there. They have not asked per se for me to come out and talk to them. I did go out January 2nd to sit down and talk to the companies and some of the union guys out there, union people out there. They're moving along. Certainly, as I said to you a long time ago, I wish this negotiation was done, but there's a lot of issues out there that they want to go through. But so far, hopefully, we don't have anything that will hold this contract up, but certainly it's something I'd like to get done sooner rather than later.
You've been pretty calm about it, and I often ask you, when does the red light start to flash? Are we getting closer to that point for you?
No, it will flash to me if there's an issue that I think is going to be one of those make or break issues. Like in the railroads, when we talked about, the negotiations weren't really going on as they're moving forward. When sick time came up, paid sick time came up, I kind of knew that was one of those red flashing problems. I haven't seen that yet in the ports negotiations, and I think that, the way they work is a lot of the unions work and negotiate with individual ports, but there is a master contract. I don't know if that's the technical name for it, but right now I'm not concerned about that yet. I mean, listen, you could change on a dime, obviously, but right now I feel good.
Secretary Walsh, usually Tom Keene and I like to talk about football, real football, the stuff that happens outside of the United States. I'm told you're a massive Bruins fan. Is that true?
I like the Bruins, I like the Patriots, I like the Celtics, and I also like Man United.
Oh, you do as well. The reason I bring up the Bruins is because there's some interest in perhaps maybe you going to the NHL Players Association. Any truth to that, Secretary Walsh? There was a report from Politico this week.
I don't have any personal news to make today. Today I'm focused on a jobs report that has shown since the President Biden has taken office, 12.1 million people have either gone back to work or jobs been added to the economy. And certainly, this is such an honor being Labor Secretary. And on a day like today, I feel even better about it being able to be on TV.
That sounds like you've got some news to make tomorrow.
I live my life a day at a time, so we'll see what happens.